Hello, Anatot TV family. Welcome once again to our last episode of Season 1, the Road Travel Talk Show. We want to thank you all for supporting the show, for watching the show. As you know, we always bring special guests, people of influence. Today, I have a special guest. She's a producer and sound engineer, a gospel minister. Without much wasting of time, let me introduce my sister, Sharon Manyika. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for honoring the invitation and to come and sit down with us today. Yes, it's a great honor. You know, with your schedule and time, it's not easy for everyone to come and sit. But you honored Anatot TV today to come and share some of inspiring testimonies.
Yeah.
Yes, so I want to know, as you are growing up, I need to know more about who is Sharon Manyika.
Yeah.
How did you identify yourself? And I know the background that you are coming from.
Yeah.
Your father and mother, I know they are pastors also. They are founders of a ministry.
Yes.
And the time that we are living now, a lot of people, they seems like judging pastors' kids because of misbehaving. You understand? But I need to know, how did you manage the pressure?
Oh, well, I definitely misbehaved. I think everyone does.
Yes.
I don't remember, engaging in anything that I would consider to be extreme.
Yes.
I think everyone, as you grow, especially the teenage years, there's certain things you want to experience for yourself. You want to be out there. Your parents tell you don't do this, but that's exactly what you want to do.
Yes.
Because you're at a rather experimental stage, or stage of discovery.
Yes.
So definitely, I think like anyone else, there are things that I wouldn't be proud of. Things that people don't know, and it should stay that way.
Yes.
But I think I was a normal child.
Yes.
And I'm grateful that my parents allowed me to have that power to choose. They were always there to offer. My parents were strict, actually. They were quite strict.
Yes,
But they would always leave a bit of allowance for me to make certain choices.
Yes.
Especially big decisions, like giving my life to Christ. I don't remember a day when my parents forced that down my throat. Like, you have to. But there was a certain way where they did it, where they really guided us without being forceful. And they were always there to show us both sides of life. We were very fortunate to have parents we could sit down with. Yes. The same way I'm sitting down with you.
Yes.
And they would talk. They would talk to us, and they would show us things. Okay, look at this person. This is where they came from. Their family was like this. Their parents allowed them to do this, but now look where they are. Yes. So we always had very strong guidance. They were very intentional, deliberate about teaching us. Yes. And then they would, I shouldn't say us because you're interviewing me. Now I'm speaking for the whole family. But those are the kind of parents I have. And it was really such a blessing. I can't speak for other pastors' kids.
Yes.
Because if I think of even some of my friends, they pastors' kids, the problem is people put pastors' kids on some kind of a pedestal.
Yes.
And they forget that they're also human beings. They're also prone to making the same mistakes any other child would make, or any other adult would make. And sometimes because you're in the limelight, other people could be doing that. Yes. But because you're a pastor's child, somehow it's magnified. And I get it. I understand, because to whom much is given, much is then, expected. But I think everything comes down to what you're trying to achieve as an individual.
Yes.
And as for me, I think I made some decisions quite early on in life.
Yes.
I had a very straightforward vision. I wanted to sing gospel music. I could have sung anything.
Yes.
But I chose gospel music because I felt that was the best way I could express myself, ministry-wise.
Yes.
So I think because I chose that path, it helped me to avoid a lot of things because I had a goal. I had a place where I wanted to get to. Yes. And I knew if I made decision A, B, C, it's not going to get me there.
Yes.
For me to get there, I need to make this decision. I need to live this way. So it helped me. But, sometimes people are just overly judgmental.
Yes.
One thing I've discovered is that some of the things we care about, God doesn't care about those things. Yes. Like, to be honest, God is very, he's very loving. He's slow to anger, as the word says. He gives people time to repent, and the way we judge people is not the measure that we use to judge people is definitely not the same measure God uses. Otherwise, none of us would be here.
Yes.
Yeah, because everybody's got their own issues and skeletons,
Yes.
But yeah, sometimes I feel like people do put unnecessary pressure on pastors' kids. But sometimes I also talk to pastors' children, and I do feel to a great extent, if your parents are ministers, then an apple doesn't fall far from the tree. There's obviously something that you can do. Maybe you are not called to be a pastor, because pastoring is about being called. It's about calling, right? So like nowadays, we see a lot of people, that's why there are a lot of fake prophets now, because people want to be prophets, but you are not called as a prophet. In the office of a prophet. People don't get that. You want to be an evangelist, are you called to be an evangelist? So, that's the problem. Sometimes people put unnecessary pressure on pastors' children instead of nurturing them and loving them
the way they
so that they and identifying their talents and just being that guide that I was talking about, being there. I really feel like the church can do more to help. Instead of criticizing, we can channel that energy that people use to criticize to actually assist pastors' children so that they can walk
according to the will of God.
Yes, according to the will of God. So it's just a different perspective that I have. It's not really about what are they doing wrong, but what are you doing to help them.
I think that's a powerful mindset, because a lot of people, they are quick to go to the wrong things than to think, what can I do to help someone to achieve this goal. So at which age did you start to minister, like to sing, and how did you know that I was called into this? Did your parents play a role into your music?
Yeah. It stretches into like a big family, because the whole family, from my mother's side, from my father's side, there's definitely like all my uncles loved music. Like some of them were not even Christians. You know what I mean? They were drunkards.
Yes.
But whenever you had a family occasion, there's always music. Then definitely with my father, because when he would travel to preach, he would always bring back, at the time it was tapes, I think, videotapes.
Videotapes and cassettes.
Yeah, I'm a 2000, don't even know about this, but there were videotapes and cassettes and all those things. He would bring those back, and I was exposed to a lot of good music from a very early age. Yeah. So I grew up in that kind of environment. My grandfather, apparently, both my grandfathers from both sides were amazing singers. I never met my grandfather from my mom's side, but my grandfather from my dad's side always used to tell me that, your grandfather, you really took after him. But he was a great musician himself as well. My father is a great musician. His siblings, Dr. Noah Manyika, I don't know if you know him. He's an amazing songwriter and musician. The firstborn in my dad's family, Ezekiel Manyika, is based in the UK. Big musician in the 80s. Platinum records, everything, the whole works. So it's definitely the environment, and I think my parents noticed that I also had that interest and desire to sing. But I do remember an incident when I was 4 years old, and a Whitney Houston song was playing on radio, and I do remember asking God, I should have been 4 or 5, and I do remember saying to God, if you give me a voice that's that beautiful, I'll always sing for you.
Yes.
So that's also something I desired. But my parents definitely played the biggest role. Yeah, definitely.
So when did you release your first album, and are you the one who's writing the music?
That's a good question. That's a good question because there are songs that I have to talk about.
Yes.
Right? Waka Kosha, for example.
Yes.
That's a song that people still love up to today. A lot of people don't know that I didn't write Waka Kosha. I always say it, but I think it always goes above people's heads.
Yes.
My father, Apostle Sharon Manyika, he wrote that song. Yeah.
Wow.
He wrote that song. That whole jazz album with Waka Kosha, I think I only wrote 2 songs on the Do You Believe album. He wrote Do You Believe. I think I wrote Takatenderana. You know, all these other songs, he's the one who wrote. And I think one of the songs was written by the late Victor Ntoni.
Okay.
Yeah, from here.
So you have a good father who can write music and say, my daughter, you can.
He gives me songs.
Yeah,
yes. He gives me songs literally. Banyangu as well, from the I wrote Greater Than the World. I didn't write Banyangu. Some people don't know that.
Yes.
There's a number of songs. There's Friend, Jesus, You're My Friend. If you go back to the first album, the Mufudzi, I wrote Mufudzi, however. Yes. I wrote Simuka Africa.
Yes.
But, you know, some of those, I wrote Namwari, I wrote Munezose.
Yes.
But, some of the songs my dad wrote.
But, you know, I'm grateful because others, they lie. I'm the one who write. I'm the one that write. But you are openly saying, my father did, and this one was did. And it's a great thing also to acknowledge him while he's alive, and see how the daughter is doing. So, from your career, how many albums did you produce, like in numbers?
I actually have 3 albums.
3 albums.
So Mufudzi was my debut album. Then after that came Greater Than the World. And then after that, I recorded the jazz album. Yes. That was my last album.
Okay.
So, and then I didn't do anything musical for, I think I went to school and I studied production, management, and all those things for 4 years.
So that period you stopped to produce music?
I stopped, I stopped completely. I would sing, I would get invited to a lot of
to minister
functions, overseas, and I would just minister. I didn't stop that aspect.
Okay, the other
but
side.
I did stop recording for a very long time. But I was featuring, on because remember I was.
What about your fans? How do they feel?
Yeah, my fans were not happy.
Yes, because I know when you are used to hear the music that you want, and someone saying, I'm quitting, like for example, this guy who's playing soca, he was quitting soca, now he was crying. And the fans were crying, so I'm just thinking on the shoes of the fans to say.
Yeah, there were a lot of complaints because I went for about 10 years. But I did other things that I really enjoyed.
Yes.
Ministry-wise, I was growing as well.
Okay.
But I actually got an opportunity to lecture at our Bible school, which was a huge, huge thing. And one of the things I was teaching was ministering to pastors' kids.
Wow.
Yeah. That was one of the modules that...
So you're telling me besides being a gospel minister, there is another side of you that is called as well? Yeah,
there's a lot of different sides that I don't necessarily publicize. But, if I'm not doing music, I've got things that I'm doing in the background that I also find very fulfilling besides
being ministering.
Yeah, besides music. So then 2016, that's when I recorded Munezose.
Yes.
because now I felt, okay, I need
to start.
I don't believe I'm a typical artist in the sense that if I don't feel like I've got anything
to release,
okay,
I understand.
I don't just release
you
because I'm a musician.
Yes, you need to hear God, what God is
saying.
Yes.
So now I've got some amazing songs.
Yes.
Amazing songs that God has been giving me. Something very interesting happened. I bumped into Donnie McClurkin. Which year was that? It must have been time has flown. 2016 December.
I think I saw the pictures. Is it on your Facebook?
I reposted it, yes. I reposted it because it was December. So it came up again on my Facebook, and then I shared it again. So on that particular day, as an artist, sometimes you feel like, should I continue music? Should I?
Yes.
You just don't really know which direction to take.
Yes.
So I was at some kind of a crossroads about so many things on that particular day.
Yes.
So my family was arriving from Zim, and initially I wasn't even going to go to the airport. We were going to meet at home and all that. But my father insisted that I come in case the suitcases, in case the luggage was too much and all. So I went, and as everybody landed, and we went outside, then I just turned around, and Donnie McClurkin was standing right behind me. So I literally, something in me just said, turn around. And then I turned around, and he was literally just standing there. I think he had come to record that DVD they did with Mahalia and Togozo. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he was here for that.
Yes.
But anyway, to cut a long story short, I feel like there was some kind of spiritual impartation, so to say, because from that day, and this had never happened to me, by the way, I had a different way of writing songs. For me, it would be during my prayer time or during my quiet time when I'm meditating on the word. Then lyrics start to come as I'm awake. I would hear the artists saying, oh, God gave me the song in a dream. I dream a lot, but that had never happened to me. So since that day when I met Donnie McClurkin, God would give me complete songs in my dreams, like from start to finish, and the music as well. So that's something that has never happened to me. But those are the kind of songs. It's a whole catalog that I have. I could possibly record 4 albums non-stop because of the number of songs I have right now.
You have now,
But
I wanted to know something. Did he say something when you meet Don McClurkin? Did he pray for you, or you said?
We sang together.
Wow.
And I thought that was, it happened so fast. I had my phone, but I didn't. The only picture I had, thank God my sister was right there. So she's the one who was like, oh, let me take a picture. But no one, I was so caught up in the moment. I didn't even think about taking a video or, but he sang with me and we spoke for a little bit, and I can't really.
That's
but
powerful,
we did speak for a little bit. But in that moment, something was, my spirit was so heavy because, like I said, I was at some kind of a crossroad in my personal life. But in that moment, I literally felt something lifted up.
Yes.
And I felt something was open. There was some kind of a connection that I think I needed with God at that moment. It's some of these things are personal experiences. People may not necessarily understand. But as for me, because it happened to me, it was real, as real as I'm talking to you.
Yes.
So from that day, I received songs every single day for 3 months.
So you'll be having a book wherever
yes,
you write
I had
songs.
a recorder. As a musician, I've got a recorder. So I kept it under my pillow. If it wasn't the recorder, it was my phone.
Yes.
So my phone always had to be charged before I slept.
Here we are expecting fireworks.
And what's funny, last year in April, I was planning to do my first, and it will actually be my first live DVD recording.
Yes.
So we had started rehearsals In Zim.
Yes.
Because I was in Zim from December until Feb.
Yes.
So in January, we started rehearsing in preparation for this DVD.
Yes.
When I came back end of February, hoping to go back end of March, like on the 29th of March, then lockdown hit. So we couldn't proceed with that. I sort of had to, and I had so much pressure from, I remember an article that I read and they were saying, oh, she doesn't have money.
Okay.
I don't know, all sorts of
people,
things.
They were criticizing.
Yes, people were criticizing, oh, she made us wait. But I was just in my own I was just in my own space, and I'm just not that type of artist you can pressure.
Yes.
Because if I feel like
you don't want to do
I don't have
something
to give, I keep it until a moment.
And I think that's reality with God, because I believe there are songs per season.
Exactly.
God will be ministering to us through songs.
Yes.
Because previous interview we were talking about this. Good. The lady was saying, I don't also just release. I'm not that type. So this is what you are saying. You are confirming something to say. In life, it's not about you have the hit maker or what. You need to hear what God is saying. So that if it's your season to release, God is saying.
Yeah.
So there is a reason also why it had to be stopped that season.
Oh yeah. And at that time, obviously, as an artist, I was devastated because I was looking forward to this.
Yes.
People who follow me were looking forward to this. I felt it was the right time. But only after that season had passed and we had all gone through lockdown.
Yes.
The real lockdown was the level 5 or what?
Yeah, level 5.
Yeah, where we were stuck. Yes. We were stuck. You couldn't go anywhere. You're stuck in the house. And in that moment as well, God started to give me more songs. So at the end of last year, when I looked at that whole season, now I understood, it was so necessary for me to go through this and to get to where I am.
Yes.
Because had I recorded in April, I don't think I was going to release the songs of that season.
Yes.
Of that season. So now I feel ready. Okay. I have started preparations in the background.
Yes.
But I don't want to talk too much about that. I don't want to talk too much about that. But I'm in a place where I feel ready.
And fans, you are hearing. Get ready. Something is coming.
Now I feel ready.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So, how do you balance, like, your time, the children side, and the music, and the church also?
It's not, I think some of these things come naturally. I think with kids, with the first one, that's where most of the adjustments happened because it was my first child, but that's a long time ago.
Yes.
By the time you have your second child and, you're sort of, you've created a program that works for you. For me personally, I like to plan in advance. I plan my week in advance, even if I don't get to write it down. But in my head,
it's there already.
Yeah, in my head, I always put things in order. What am I doing on Monday? Okay, on Monday I have to do this. On Tuesday I have to do this.
Yes.
And that way, I find balance. I think it's very important, especially as a minister, to be there for your kids. Because they can grow up and you won't know anything about your children. You can live in the same house.
But you don't know anything about
But you don't know anything about your children. You don't know what they've eaten. So I'm a very hands-on mom.
Yes.
I obviously have help because there are moments where I have to travel and stuff like that. But whenever I'm there, I try to have quality time with the kids. So I think that makes a difference. When they're not there, video calling, thank God for social media.
Yes.
I've that type of relationship with my kids where I tell them they can call me anytime. So even if I'm in the middle of something,
they can
call. And I've also tried to integrate them into what I do so that they understand why I'm doing it. So if they're not in school, I always travel with my kids.
So they also love music?
They love music.
They also sing?
My daughter, I don't want to say this because she'll see it. But she does love music. Okay. I think she's a much better dancer.
Okay.
But the boy, the little boy, We actually call him producer. We call him Mommy's producer.
Or
He's got a natural, because how you know if something is playing on radio, if we're playing a song, and I know he's never heard the song before, he can predict the progression
of the song.
Because if he's hearing it for the first time, but he can
tell you,
he starts to sing or to hum or to make, sounds with his hands, and he goes in the direction of the song. So I think that's quite incredible. So with him, definitely. With the girl dancing, yes, definitely. With the boy, something is there.
Something, okay?
Yeah, musically.
Is there.
Yeah.
You are doing production now. So if I want to produce my music, you can do it for me?
I can do it for you. It's not something, because we have an in-house label for our church. So I particularly wanted to work with like Chantel, who we have here. So I like to work with people that know me, people that I know.
Yes.
Because then obviously I can play some kind of a role in their lives. Some of them I've known them since they were kids, So production-wise, yes, I have always produced though, especially with my own music.
Yes. You're doing it on your own.
I'm very much involved. If you look at a track like Mutoriti, Beat Boy, he's known as Beat Boy, Tino Damba, he's a drummer and also producer. He produced Mutoriti for me. But in terms of the executive production, I was very involved in that. The type of sounds that I'm looking for, everything.
Yes.
Everything concerning production.
Yes.
I'm very, very involved.
Wow.
My father used to do that, as you know. He used to be my manager and my producer.
Yes.
But when the ministry started growing, our church is quite big. Out for Christ Ministries.
Yes,
it's quite
a
big
church,
now. So, coping. So I do more of my own productions.
Your own
now.
production.
Namwari was produced by Level 8 Productions.
Okay.
But what I do is I like to do the demos.
Okay.
So that I have that personal, So in terms of the demos, with piano, I'm on level 2 piano.
You're learning as well?
Yeah, level 2 piano.
So you're gifted in a lot of things, because, other ladies out there, they are crying. I can't do this, I can't this, but I'm getting inspired also. Good. You are doing a lot of things. You're even learning how to play piano.
It's a decision away. Everything that you think you can't do, it's a decision away, literally. I can't even say I'm gifted in piano. It's a skill that I realized that it was crucial for me to be able to do it, because sometimes you want to be able to express yourself in more than one way.
Yes.
So if I'm only singing and I can't play and sing, then I'm limiting myself.
Yes.
Because I can only express myself through singing.
Through singing, yes.
And through the sound engineering, which, so everything, a lot of times we tell ourselves we can't. I was so shocked when I realized after a year I'd completed level 1 piano.
Yes.
It's still like baby, like, what you call them? Like preschool kind of stuff, like grade 1 kind of piano. But after that, I also then taught myself to play by ear, because now the three basic chords. And now you can play simple stuff.
You are saying, it's like a baby, and you start with crowing. But very soon, one of these days, we'll be seeing you playing live.
Of course, that's the vision.
And it will happen, because when you started something, God won't only leave you there. It will come to pass, because the desire already is there. So it's only to perfect the gift and take it to the next level. So when you're doing like music concert and what you do the sound engineering yourself, or you hire somebody?
I'm very involved. When we have concerts, I like to focus on the music itself, because usually I'll be directing a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So, but at our conferences, like annual conferences, you'll find me sitting at the sound desk.
The sound desk, yes.
Yeah, even for a lot of, I used to do it a lot.
Yes.
Now I wasn't too involved in the sound engineering, but it's something I want to go back to.
Yes.
But definitely when we have our annual conferences, Sunday services,
yes.
You know, I do the sound. Yeah. We have a team of engineers. Sometimes it will be 2 of us, sometimes, you know, a bigger team.
Yes.
But it's something I actually enjoy. Live sound.
Live sound, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it. But when I'm going to perform, I don't like to be involved in that because I can't do both. Because while I'm performing, I can't also do the live sound.
Yes.
But before maybe we start performing, I can be involved, you know, trying to sort out
check.
Yeah, to check if everything's in. I do that a lot. I'm quite hands-on, yeah.
This is powerful because some of the people they're just gifted in singing. They just concentrate in one area. So what I'm seeing here, you check everything to say, I want this and this done.
Yeah.
So are we also expecting a video soon? A new video?
Yeah. It's good that you asked about a video. There's a song that I released last year and it's called Your Love.
Yes.
And I actually went to Cape Town and I shot a very beautiful video there. So again, we'll talk about season, timing, and all those things. Now I feel like
it's time.
Yeah, because that's done. Like we did it last year.
Yes.
So definitely I will release that. And then everything else, the album has to be complete first. Like I said to you, there's stuff going on behind the scenes. And I'll only fully talk about it when it's complete. Yeah.
But besides your music career, or do you have any challenges that we faced? Like, you know, I still remember when other guys, they went to the studio, the producer would tell you can't sing. And some of them, they quit, but some of them, they keep on pursuing, and now they are great ministers.
Yeah.
You've ever faced challenges like rejection, all those stuff in...
Oh yeah, definitely. There's one gospel artist that I won't mention, but I really wanted to work with him, and he kind of said something along the lines of, "You're too late" or something, because I think he signed on to a label now.
Yes.
And he gave me the impression that the label is in control of who he performs with, which could be true. But I think as artists, we go through that all the time. When I was younger and singing the jazz, I do remember an incident where we were in a stadium, and you know, there were artists like Deborah Fraser.
Yes.
And I don't remember if it was Fungisai or the Charambas, I don't know.
Yes.
So I've always felt misunderstood growing up because I was doing a genre that was a bit uncommon.
Yes.
So the rejection was a big one. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, it affected my self-esteem.
Yes.
Because remember, I started singing when I was very young.
Yes.
I wasn't so involved in singing publicly. You know, I would sing at the branch where I attended church.
Yes.
Not like in front of big crowds.
Yes.
When I got to 12 years old, that's when I did my first public performance.
Wow.
And from there, I became a member of the House of David band, which is our in-house church band where we groom artists.
Yes.
I was groomed in there. So every time I performed as part of House of David, I always felt accepted because of the type of music. It was more traditional.
Yes.
So people were always ready to
receive
that. When I started performing as Sharon Manyika,
yes.
It was always kind of different. I think God did something incredible in that I sang R&B songs but in Shona, and jazz songs but in Shona.
In Shona, yes.
Which was something that wasn't common as well in that time. It took a bit of time, I would say.
For the people to adjust, and
especially with the live performances, because I could sing after someone who's singing like Fungisai or the Charambas.
Yes.
Now people are trying to connect.
Yes, yeah, I understand. Yes.
So I never took it personally because I understood the type of environments that I was in. But I also thank God my parents were very protective of, because I actually think it could have really affected me emotionally. But it only affected me to a certain degree,
level,
not fully, because I learned that as an artist, it's important to be yourself.
Yes.
To be authentically yourself. And when you're authentically yourself, that's the only way where people are going to appreciate
and express who you are.
Yes, you have to express. I'm not that artist. I'm not that artist.
Yes.
You can't compare me
with another artist
because we're two different people. The way I express myself is different.
And also your mandate as gospel minister is different.
It's different.
Because I believe what you are saying, someone that can minister through jazz.
Yes.
There's someone who's a jazz fan
who
but
only likes jazz. Yeah.
So you can also win a soul through your music. So I believe that's how God operates.
Yes.
And we can't be copycats.
Oh, no.
Be yourself.
Yeah, I always say that you can, if you're an artist, you can never be 100% original. That's what I believe. Because an artist also finds inspiration
from someone.
So in terms of inspiration, if you listen to the music, there's certain things you can pick
and you make your own.
Yes, and you. So yeah, I think that those are some of the challenges, and this industry is pretty much male dominated.
Yes.
You have to be strong.
So strong.
Yeah, you have to be strong because it's a male dominated industry, even with the gospel side.
Yes.
It's a male dominated industry. And there's a tendency of people, especially when it comes to production, when it comes to visual productions as well, there's a tendency of people assuming you don't know what you're doing because you're a woman.
Yes.
So that's a big challenge, and a lot of female artists go through that. You have to want it bad for you to succeed, because people just won't take you seriously. Not because they don't know what you're capable of, but for the simple reason that you're a woman and the industry is dominated by male. So if you're not careful, people can define for you, no, you're going to be an artist. You go on stage, we're going to do everything for you. We're going to sort out the sound. We're going to do the lighting for you this way.
Yes.
So if you kind of have a say, or if you kind of have your own vision
to say, I want this and this.
I want this, you can come across as controlling.
But I believe you know what you wanted. This is also your future.
Exactly.
Your career, and God is giving you a vision.
Yeah.
Imagine if someone is diverting it. So I believe, it's true for women, but I think it's also for us men to learn to give you a flow to express what God wants to do through the ladies. Yeah,
I would say in everything that you can face in the music industry, that's the hardest part.
Yes.
Where we've got a long way to go, where people may not, because you'll find if you approach people and there's a male figure there. Yes. Like, for example, when my dad was my manager and my producer, things could get done like this because there's a male figure managing. The moment you're coming and you're saying, oh, can we do this? I think we can do this. Then, people start to question why, or but like you're saying, if God has given you the vision, then you have to make it happen.
Yes.
The reason I started learning piano was I understood the limitations I had as a musician. Sometimes you approach a producer and you're trying to tell them, I want this song to sound like this. Like Namwari, for example, even Munezose. There's certain sounds I heard in my ears, and I wanted that. Thank God I went to Spirit Fingers, Jeremiah Mtsagani, and he's like my little brother.
Yes.
He grew up in our church. So I went to him, and because we have that type of relationship where he understands me, we did the demos with him.
Wow.
And then I took the song to Beat Boy. And he had musicians that he put together. I think they were all South African musicians, except him.
Yes.
but I still went and got a Zimbabwean guitarist because I wanted it to
the
sound a certain way. So that's how involved I am. And some people are offended by that. Like if a producer is producing for you, they want you to stay out
and do the rest.
They just want you to come focus on your vocals. But I always have a vision and a type of sound. Like with this album, the reason it's taken so long is it's very personal for me.
Yes.
Very, very personal.
And sometimes it's God who's speaking to you.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you hear those sounds, it's the Holy Spirit who is whispering to say, I want this song to be like this. Because He knows
the
where
impact,
the song,
the impact it's supposed to have. So sometimes the struggle is trying to bridge the gap from
and to understand
what God has given you, what you're feeling and sensing, and trying to make the next person understand that. So that's also very difficult. So I believe in playing and understanding production.
Yes.
It helps to bridge some of those gaps, and it makes working with other people much easier. Because if an engineer tells you, no, it's going to take me 4 days to mix this song, you understand why he's saying that.
Yes.
If he's saying that and he's lying,
you understand what this person is lying
you understand that no, this is a lie. So it's very important.
I think also our generation is blessed to have women with that kind of mindset, because God can use anyone. It's not about me, I'm a man, me, I'm a lady. So I think in this generation that we are in, we need to learn also and know that God can use even a woman to do something greater for the generation. So
thank you.
These testimonies are very inspiring, and it's so amazing what we are doing, because it's encouraged also other ladies out there to say, if Sharon can do this, I can do this with the Spirit of God. And also with the foundation, what we are saying about the ministry of your father and mother is doing well, is growing. I see some of the posts on Facebook and I follow.
Okay.
I check, to see what's going on. But you can see that where you are coming from, you were groomed.
Thank you.
Also the character. The character is very important.
Oh, yes.
Because when you are representing also God, you need the character.
Oh, yeah. Because talent can only take you so far.
Yes.
What actually carries you is character. And I've said this so many times, especially when I'm speaking to worshipers from church. The most incredible encounters I've had with God, it wasn't a person with talent singing.
Yes.
And I had to experience that for me to understand. And for me, for us to understand that if you have some kind of a gift, you always have to remain humble, because it's not only your talent.
I wanted to ask you that's
carrying you.
How are you managing the pressure? Being a celebrity and with the status where your father they are, it's not easy because you're a public figure. Yeah. So how do you manage to maintain the humbleness?
It's, you know what? It's very simple. It's understanding that most of what you are, there are people who have supported you for you to be where you are.
Yes.
So if you're going to be proud about it, who are you going to be? Because there's no person who can do incredible things all by yourself.
Yes.
The quicker you learn that, you've got nothing to boast about, basically.
Yes.
Because the person you are, any successful person has a person who inspired them.
Yes.
They've got a person who lifted them. They've got a person who took them from somewhere.
Yes.
And then there's God who lifts up people from the dust. And if he doesn't do that, where would you be?
Yeah.
So I always think of it that way. If God hadn't given me this gift, where would I have acquired the gift to sing? Could I have bought it?
Yes.
No.
No, yeah.
I couldn't have bought it with money. It's something that God gave me. So if God gave it to me, that means I must use it for him. It's that simple. If I'm using it for God, what's there what's there to boast about? Because it's something I was given.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's something I couldn't have done on my own.
Wow.
I can only elaborate on what I have.
Wow.
I can only try to acquire more knowledge.
Yes.
But I can't give myself a gift.
Yes.
So it's very simple. I don't pressure myself because of people.
Yes.
And I think with anyone, as you grow older,
yes, you need to understand all this.
Yes, as you grow older, you really understand that life is so personal.
Yes.
And in most instances, if God is happy with you,
it's done.
You're good. If God is happy with you because if God is happy with you, that means you're doing something right.
Yes.
If you're doing something right, even people are going to be happy with you.
Yes, it's true.
So if there's certain people that are not happy with you, but you're right with God,
yes,
that doesn't matter.
And those people, they're always there.
They'll always be there.
Even if you're good, if you're bad,
yes.
They always stop.
Always. That will always happen. So as people, we shouldn't give ourselves. I don't think that pressure is from people. I think we give ourselves
pressure to say, this year I didn't release.
Yes, pressure to perform, especially with artists. But sometimes you have to
let it go.
Because if you're an artist, you're a giver. You're giving a part of yourself. You're giving
to people.
Yeah,
it's a big ministry.
It's big. It's big, and I think people who are not artists, it's difficult for them to understand. Because that's why even lawfully, taking an artist's work without permission.
Yes.
It's a serious crime.
Yeah, serious crime. Yeah, that's theft. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are we mustn't put ourselves under pressure.
You must be yourself. And know the season and what God wants to do.
What God wants you to do, and you're good. You're good. Just understanding that you're unique.
Yes.
Even if an artist can come and win 20 Grammys, as long as they're not Sharon Manyika, they'll never be able to do what I do.
Yes.
And I don't say that in a bad way.
Yes.
All I'm saying is we all have things that are unique to us.
Yes.
And understanding your role in the society, in the church, and in the world, it will help you not to run after things you're not supposed to be running after.
Yes.
It will help you to be content, be content with the things that God wants to achieve through you, specifically through you.
Wow. And there's a part that you said, sometimes we're traveling to minister. Which country did you minister? Which countries did you go and minister and share stage also maybe with one or two artists or ministers?
To be honest with you, I think most of the tours that I've done as Sharon Manyika or as part of, I also didn't talk about LDC choir.
Yes.
We have a choir project that we've been working on for years.
Yes.
It's called LDC, Living Word Deliverance Choir.
Yes.
Amazing music.
Wow.
We toured within South Africa.
Yes.
For the most part.
Yes.
And in Zimbabwe, and I have performed a lot in the UK.
Wow.
In the past. Like I said, I don't want to talk about those other things. You see them.
Yes.
But I don't want to talk about those other things. But especially here in South Africa, definitely always
ministering
up and down. Yeah. And in Zimbabwe as well.
But you are doing a great job.
Thank you.
It's not easy as ladies to push to say, I want to serve the Lord.
Yeah.
I want to do this for the Lord. As you are saying, one thing that inspired me on this platform now, it's you are not just releasing to say, I want to release because I have something to release.
Yeah.
Those are the most dangerous things, that you can release a song which is not God is saying, don't release this song at this season.
Yeah. Because I'm not a secular artist.
You are doing it for God.
You understand? I'm not if you're a gospel artist, there will always be something that God is giving you, a message rather. Because gospel, it speaks for itself.
Yes.
What is gospel music?
Yes.
Gospel music, it's about the gospel of Christ.
Yes.
So it's Christ-centered. So I'm not just, as gospel artists, we're not just people who can wake up and say, I want to sing about shoes, or I want to sing about this bottle of water. You go in the studio, now you're recording about the bottle of water.
So, I understand.
The music always carries a message.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because of our time, we are going to have part 2. I'm waiting for that release. No, it's serious. We need to do part 2.
Yeah.
For when you release the album.
Yeah.
Then we show to the world. This is the album, the videos.
Thank you.
But what word of encouragement that we can give maybe somebody, maybe who is watching us?
Yeah.
They've got a dream, they've got a vision, they want to achieve. They want also to travel. Because I know also traveling to UK, it's by God's grace. For someone to go and minister, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And so which words of encouragement that we can share to the viewers?
I think I'll go back to a summary of all the things we spoke about.
Yes.
It's very important to understand your role as an artist. So the why, the how, the way, and the what.
Yes.
I was born in Zimbabwe. I grew up in Gweru.
Yes.
I understood that the people I was meant to minister to were Zimbabweans.
Yes.
It was that simple.
Yes.
Now that I live here, I understand that I can broaden my horizons and minister to the people here. So it's very important for each and every person to understand what God wants to do through you.
Yes.
Because once you have that vision of where you're supposed to go, it helps you to make certain decisions
in life
that will help you to get to your destiny.
Yes.
So being ignorant of God's plan for your life sometimes, it just makes you a directionless, person. You've got no direction, no goals, and because of that, you don't achieve anything. And it's very important for musicians to understand that what we're doing, we do it for God.
Yes.
We're not doing, as gospel musicians, we are not in gospel music for fame.
Yes. We are doing
it's not about being famous. It's about touching people's lives
and
through the message that you are carrying through music.
Not just sing like bottle you had.
No.
Okay, so if someone want to contact you or they want to book you or they want your services, where can they go?
So it's very simple. Sharon Manyika bookings with an S at gmail.com.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's about it. Otherwise, I've had people who contact me through social media.
Okay.
Yeah, we're very active now. I'm not a very social person, but we do respond. I'm on Facebook as Sharon Manyika. I'm on Instagram also as Sharon Manyika. I'm on Twitter as Sharon Manyika. And then the email is sharonmanyikabookings@gmail.com. And I also have a website, sharonmanyika.com.
Okay, so you heard it for yourself. You can go to any platform and then you can book and choose the services that you want. Thank you.
How on earth did I get here when I didn't know which way to go? You were always right there in my confusion and distress. You held my hand and you said that it was gonna be okay. Yes, when I didn't know which way to turn, you spoke to me and you said that I didn't have to be afraid. No. When I close my eyes, I
tobacco. Find a treasure I can never let go. So when I flow, he the main reason I'm a rap for. Got me in his hands, never let go. Saved by his grace, never works, no. Do this for the streets and the church folks. Art from the heart, call it trap soul. New man with a new desire. Only wanna lift the Lord higher. Only wanna give the Lord praise for the rest of my days. Spirit in my bones burning like a fire. Lord, you the one that we lift up. Stay filled in the spirit, not the red cup. Thank you for the way that you bless us. Your love got a brother so messed up. So lift your hands up.